Hello, thank you for joining me at this poster session. My name is Bruce Dudley, Associate Professor of Music at Belmont University in Nashville, Tennessee, and Adjunct Instructor of Jazz Piano at Vanderbilt University. I'm really excited to be sharing with you a book that I've just published in 2021 called 25 Piano Etudes in Idiomatic Styles. During this presentation, I'll be sharing several excerpts from the book as we listen to recordings of selected etudes. I hope to show you the diversity of styles that are covered in the book, as well as giving you a clear picture of the compositions themselves. A few years ago, I began writing pieces that I considered to be etudes for my students that focused on specific technical and/or harmonic challenges. The idea was to offer pleasing sounding pieces that drilled certain harmonic voicings or hand and finger figurations. As the project of writing more of these pieces progressed, I decided to explore various specific styles that are widely represented in recorded history over the past 75 years or so. This current volume of 25 etudes begins at an intermediate level of difficulty and progresses gradually through the book to upper advanced levels by the end. Most of the etudes are written to reflect a particular style, although some are just contemporary sounding compositions that embody a mixture of influences. Among the styles that I've included in this book are jazz, including rhythm changes, a hard bop blues, and a piece composed in the style of Bill Evans. There are Latin styles, including Brazilian samba and bossa nova, and an Afro-Cuban folkloric piece. There is a slow 12/8 metered blues and two different representations of gospel music. There are pieces that evoke the sound of 1950s black rhythm and blues and New Orleans piano styles. There are a few jazz rock fusion pieces and pieces that are based on other pop styles from the 1960s, 80s, 90s, and the 2010s. There are some new age sounding contemplative pieces and other contemporary sounding compositions that round out the book, offering a wide range of musical expression and technically challenging yet rewarding pieces for pianists to learn from. So let's get started. First piece you'll hear is called Thad and Finus, dedicated to the great Thad Jones, band leader, composer, trumpet player, and Phineas Newborn Jr., great jazz pianist from the 1950s, 60s, and 70s. You'll hear influences of Thad Jones and the two-handed harmonization of the melody in the first chorus, and then there's a nod to the great Phineas Newborn Jr. in the second chorus of the piano solo, where there are the double octaves two hands apart. I hope you enjoy. The next piece is in the style of Bill Evans, one of the most influential jazz pianists from the 1950s and 60s. His harmonic language was rich, and his touch and voicing were extremely well controlled. This piece is a ballad that explores mediant relationships in the 16-measure theme, then leads into 3.5 courses of solo-like material, including a metric modulation into a double-time jazz waltz feel, before returning to the ballad feel of the beginning with an extended coda. It's called Where Were You? The book explores three specific Latin styles. First, with Etude number 6, Redeemer in Rio, a piece in the style of Brazilian bossa nova, and the second is a samba called Carnival Life, Etude number 16. This piece also features a section that explores the rhythm known as partido alto. Here's the beginning of Etude number 16, followed by the partido alto section, Carnival Life. Etude number 19, Cienfuegos, is in the style of certain Afro-Cuban folkloric styles and utilizes the rhythm of the bell pattern found in Bembe and other West African musical traditions. A variety of key centers are explored in this piece, as well as 3-2 rhythmic relationships. The next two excerpts are of the etude, Cienfuegos. incredibly important foundation to much of American music of the 20th century, and its influences continue today as a vital source of emotional expression and communicative power. Etude number 23, titled Trying to Make Good, is written in the style of a slow blues in 12/8 meter and calls upon this rich tradition of human expression. Another manifestation of the blues found in my book is heard in Etude number 12, Walkin' Down Vine Street. While the title is a reference to one of the hubs of musical activities during the 1930s in Kansas City, Etude number 12 is really more in the style of hard bop piano playing from the late 1950s and early 60s, with pianists like Wynton Kelly, Sonny Clark, and others. Following a 4-measure introduction, there are 6 courses of 12-bar blues with walking bass line in the left hand and solo blues vocabulary in the right hand. Another important source of influence on American popular musical styles is gospel music, both within the black and white church traditions. I explore some earlier styles of gospel piano in this book a couple of different ways. With Etude number 15, called Here Am I've written variations on a 40-measure hymn-like tune that includes extensive use of contrapuntal textures and modulations. In Etude number 18, called And Then Came Sunday, I've composed a slow 12/8 gospel piece that uses occasional blues-like fills and ornamentations, along with extensive use of diatonic triads with octaves in the right hand. Here is a portion of that etude. In the next few slides, you will see some examples of various fusion styles that are included in the book. Good Earth is in a country gospel rock style, somewhat reminiscent of the work of pianist Keith Jarrett in the early 1970s, with a calmer middle section. Etude number 24, The Struggle, has modal harmony set to a shuffle time rhythm, pulling from styles as diverse as those formulated by Russ Ferrante of the Yellow Jackets to McCoy Tyner's pianistic genius. Another style of fusion music can be heard in Etude number 11, Highland Beekeeper, which utilizes a light, straight eighth note feel and realizes its harmony via chromatic voice leading. In some ways, this etude resembles music heard on the European record label ECM, especially with the use of modes in the solo-like section in the middle of the piece, in place of traditional chord symbols. Rhythm and blues was a term coined by record producer Jerry Wexler to describe certain African American musical styles that were heard in black communities during the 1940s on. The term is still used today and in contemporary R&B to describe music that blends electronic production with blues-inflected vocals, such as the work by Beyoncé and The Weeknd. Etude number 14, Friday Night Juke Dance, is in the style of 1950s rhythm and blues, such as the music Ray Charles popularized early on in his career. A related piano style to that is found in Etude number 25, Gumbo Jubilee, which is a New Orleans-sounding piece that utilizes a second line feel in the tresillo rhythm played in the left hand. This etude recognizes the influence of Jelly Roll Morton, Professor Longhair, James Booker, Dr. John, and others on modern New Orleans piano styles. Other popular styles of the past 50 years are explored in 25 Piano Etudes and Idiomatic Styles. These include Etude Number 2 from Across the Pond, reminiscent of bands such as early Beatles, the Dave Clark Five, and American groups such as the Shirelles and the Temptations, who were all influenced by earlier black rhythm and blues music. Etude Number 6, Getting Around, has a driving straight-eighth note rhythmic feel and is reminiscent of rock bands from the 1980s such as Styx, Van Halen, and Journey. Grunge rock of the 1990s is explored and adapted to the piano in Etude Number 9 called Prickly Pear. And Etude Number 8 called La Vida Neon is written in the contemporary pop R&B style of the 2010s, such as can be heard by Justin Bieber, Selena Gomez, among others. There is a middle section in this piece that harmonically and rhythmically aligns itself more with neo-soul music, such as that produced by D'Angelo, Lauryn Hill, Robert Glasper, and others. Here are two excerpts from La Vida Neon, Etude Number 8. Here is the complete table of contents. You were able to sample 16 of the 25 etudes in this presentation. On the next slide, you will see information on how to order digital or hard copies of the book from my website, www.brucedudley.com. Free access to hearing the recordings of all 25 etudes is made available through SoundCloud. Search for SoundCloud Bruce Dudley 25 Piano Etudes. Thank you for taking the time to explore my book today. If you know of any piano students and teachers who might be interested in learning about the material presented in the book, please share this video with them. Thanks again and take care.